Welcome back. I'm Andrew, your crypto guy on the internet. And today we're going to take on some big issues head on. We're going to go down the rabbit hole a little bit about currencies and how the EU is terrified of cryptocurrency. So we have Christine Lagarde, I think is how you say her name. She is the president of the European Central Bank. She's like Europe's Jerome Powell. And she does not like crypto. Okay, so she comes out. First, she looks like a cartoon person, but that's fine. She says crypto is worth nothing, that it's backed by nothing. And it's just victimizing hopeful, inexperienced investors. And as a result, crypto should be heavily regulated to protect people who don't know how to invest. And so she goes on to say that my very humble assessment is that it is worth nothing. It's based on nothing. There's no underlying asset to act as an anchor of safety. I'm concerned about those people who think it's going to be a reward. They're going to be terribly disappointed. And then somebody in the audience says that they lost a lot of money buying Cardano. And Lagarde responded with, that hurts. All right. So by comparison, she says, buy the euro because we have the European bank behind it. Sure. So crypto is worth nothing because it's backed by nothing. So when you hear somebody with a smirk on their face ask you if you're into crypto, crypto's not backed by anything. The easy counter to that is, what is? Is the dollar backed by something? And they'll stare at you and go, that's right. It's not backed by anything. Neither is the euro. Not backed by anything. It's not backed by gold. Let's go right to the dollar. So when you have a new product, to sell that product, you compare it to the current top product, right? Who's the leading competitor? So if you have a new detergent, you compare it to Tide, and you say, here's why we're better than Tide. So let's take a look at the US dollar. What makes the US dollar the number one currency, even though it's not backed by anything? The US dollar is backed by fear, mostly. Meaning that if you don't play ball with the petrodollar or agree that it's worth $1, we'll liberate you with bombs in the name of democracy. Okay? So that's why the United States spends more money on its military than the rest of the world combined. And every year when we see those figures, people here go, that's ridiculous. We should spend half that much money, if not less than that. We should spend that money on childcare and baby formula and stuff. What they don't realize is that why we spend so much on military is to remain on top, to remain the world's reserve currency. Because if you don't do it by force, since it's backed by nothing, we'll fall from number 1 to number 2. And you know who number 1 would be? China. And China would not make it a comfortable landing for us. In fact, they would bend us all over and raw dog us in the ass. And the way that China would win is not by shooting even a single gun or sending even a single missile our way. China has 90% of our medicine. And they build 90% of the stuff that we buy. They've also softened our last 2 generations through media and influencing how we teach our children in schools. So as a result, most people in 20s and 30s don't know how to build anything. They're on TikTok instead. So what China will do is, since they have all the stuff, they will simply charge us triple the price for everything that we currently need. And people here, instead of responding with, we're going to build stuff here instead, we want energy independence, instead we make deals, desperate deals with OPEC and everybody else. Hopefully Europe bails us out. They can send us some formula on a plane. You should just produce all your stuff here. Right? But we're not doing that. Instead, we have a weak generation of people that's soft and scared and easily manipulated. So that's what China would do. If the United States spent less on its military might, the dollar would no longer be number 1. Now, why do you think we're in Ukraine fighting for Ukraine? We don't give a shit about Ukraine. It's because Russia doesn't want to play ball with the petrodollar anymore. Neither does China. And so this is just an excuse to fight them. It's really all it is. Why do you think we have all these unlimited wars in whatever the Middle Eastern country of the week is? It's because they don't want to play the game with the petrodollar anymore. They're tired of it. So we need to come up with a reason, install some new leader who hopefully plays ball, and if he doesn't, we label him the number one terrorist in the world and blow everything up. That was Saddam Hussein, okay? So really it just comes down to who controls the money. And the dollar's not backed by anything but military might. The euro's not backed by anything. They don't even have military might. And so she's in charge of the euro, basically, and says that crypto is a fool's errand. It's a game. Now, for something that's worth nothing and silly, she sure is spending a lot of effort trying to crush it. Now, here's the MiCA Bill that the European Union has been working on. The last time we really heard about this was in March. Remember they were going to ban Bitcoin and everything else? Well, Bitcoin through lobbying was taken off the table then, but now they're going after everybody else instead. And the one thing that really stood out to me, now the original bill is about 168 pages. This is like the summarized version of it. But I did catch something that was interesting. Stable coins are the first on the chopping block. So stable coins are a source for decentralized finance. And what decentralized finance is it allows people outside of the banking world to gain money, to get financed for a business idea or something. That's from a common liquidity pool that nobody actually owns directly. It's just you can invest in stable coins, right? And it becomes like a pile of money that can get loaned out at high interest rates. And then if you're a holder of that stable coin, you get paid an interest yield on it, okay? And that's why it works for itself. So people who invest in the pile of money get a nice return, and then people can borrow from it, but they pay a high interest rate, okay? Because this is outside of banking. This basically renders banks pointless or obsolete, all right, DeFi. And that's the first thing that the EU is going after, is that whole thing. Making it so, like, sure, you can have a stablecoin operation, but you can't pay out any interest to anyone who partakes. And so that would essentially destroy stablecoins and DeFi protocols, all right? So that's done, if this passes, which it will. But only for the EU in Europe. Now, why do we care about Europe with this? We don't really. There are no big tech billionaires in Europe. There aren't really any major innovators in Europe, and it's largely because of stuff like this. It gets regulated and taxed to death, so all of those companies move elsewhere, either to the US or Singapore or somewhere else, South Korea. That's where things are invented and innovated, is far away from shit like this, okay? And so Europe's cryptocurrency market is relatively small. Now, Germany has a lot of Bitcoin nodes going on there. They're one of the bigger players in the Bitcoin game. And so Bitcoin is essentially off the table from these rules, which is good for Bitcoin holders, right? But if you're one of the little guys, if you hold a utility coin like Chainlink or Polkadot or something, you're in the sights of these people, and they want to make it, they're basically taking away all the fun or the purpose of it, right? The purpose for most people is to try to make money because the stock market has failed them. They're priced out of the real estate market, okay? The stock market's trash. The banks won't lend them any money to start a business, or if they do, it's under some insane terms. And so most regular people see crypto as the last bastion of hope for creating something for themselves, or to make some money for the future, because they know Social Security is completely insolvent. So there's no government-related retirement plan in store for people like me and people younger than me. I won't see a penny of Social Security because the whole thing is completely upside down. And if you look at the stock market, due to the inflation caused by people like Christine and Jerome Powell, that's failing us. Okay, and then inflation is the highest it's been in 40 years, thanks to people like her. And so cryptocurrency is a system in response to failures from people like her and Ben Bernanke that got us into these kinds of problems. Crypto isn't just some evil thing for no reason. It was created as an alternative to these people because they're screwing us over relentlessly. And so it was an answer from the free market going, we don't need you anymore, okay? And that's why we have it. So there's a number of reasons on why crypto does have value. It's not just magic invisible money for no reason that's trying to replace the dollar. In fact, cryptocurrency, the main objective is not to replace the dollar. It's just an alternative to it. And really, people buy cryptocurrencies similar to how you would buy a stock in something, right? You're investing in a company. Now, other than Bitcoin, all of these altcoins are software companies, okay? They're developing some solution or some innovation related to some layer of blockchain technologies. Now, I don't know which one of these companies is going to be around in 10 or 20 years, but everybody's jumping in because it's a technology that will stand the test of time. It's lightning fast and super secure. Every government wants it, but no one can directly control it for now. And so people are fighting over who's going to be the new top dog, and it's very exciting. And small-time retail investors like you and me like the idea of cryptocurrencies because you want to get in on the ground floor of the next big thing, right? And Christine, along with many people, although it's a smaller and smaller number every year of people shitting on crypto because they see it's not actually going anywhere, it's not going away. It's continuing to evolve with or without them. And so when you fight crypto like this, and you say all these mean things about it, what you're doing is you're leaving yourself behind. What these governments should do instead is try to adopt it or gather as much of it as they can. They don't want to be left behind on this stuff. And China is actually discussing unbanning Bitcoin because there are still Bitcoin miners there. There are still Bitcoin nodes there, even though it's been banned like 14 times. And so China's going, oh, hang on, this is still going on. The United States is taking the lead on it. We should probably allow it. And Russia's allowing it too now. So this lady, Christine, is making a huge mistake in trying to strangle crypto through this MiCA Bill. What you're doing is you're scaring away innovation, okay? And that's going to cripple their future in the digital world. So whoever controls crypto or leads the world of it will dominate the digital world in the next 10, 20, 30, 50 years, okay? So this, not to say that it's permanent, it could be undone once they see the terrible effects it has on them. But for now, the EU is harshly against cryptocurrency investment, all right? They're labeling it as we're trying to protect people, but you know what also isn't backed by anything? Your Tesla stock. Okay, if you buy a Microsoft stock or you buy XYZ stock, what's that backed by? Nothing. Hopefully this works out. I believe in this company, right? If you invest in Cardano and their price goes way down, you could invest in Tesla and their price goes way down exactly the same way. So let's have a look at that. Where is that right now? Okay, does this mean that we need more regulation on Tesla stock and that it's all a scam and that I'm an idiot for investing in Tesla? No, this is just how the market goes sometimes. If you believe in the company, you hold on to it for the long haul. And we're doing the same thing with cryptocurrencies. Now, to be fair, most cryptocurrencies are bogus. There's 19,500 of them. Like 20 of them are worth investing in my opinion. Okay, most of these are just pipe dreams or scams or rug pulls because it's brand new. It's the newest, greatest thing. The same thing happened when the internet was invented, when cell phones were invented. Every new tech has this boom of people jumping in. Some are good guys and some are just bad guys trying to cash in on the trend, the hype of it, right? And so we're in that fledgling stage, that infant stage, but this will be the next giant, okay? And for anyone who gets in the way like this, that's a mistake. All right, we had Ben Bernanke, hanky-panky Ben Bernanke, who bailed out the banks back in 2009, right? For, what was that, $800 billion? He goes, yeah, Bitcoin, crypto, it's all a scam. Well, and then it's not, though. It's not. So there are scams out there. I'll give him that. But he's completely ignoring everybody at the top, everything they're actually building, why they're doing it, what makes it valuable. And the main thing is, even with Bitcoin, Bitcoin's true value is its network. It's an unhackable network with super secure transactions. Like, no one can control it. And the reason why we have all this military might in the dollar is because we're trying to control money, right? We're fighting over control of money. But with cryptocurrency, no direct person can control it. That's the beauty of it. Anybody has equal access to it. Whether you're a trillionaire or you're in the boonies somewhere in the middle of Africa, you can also get crypto at the same price with the same access and enjoy the same stuff from it, okay? And you too can earn 15% interest on your stable coin or whatever, no matter where you are. And there's no bank or government that can stop you. Unless you're in Europe. They're trying to change that, okay? So who's stepping up to the plate instead? All the little guys. South American countries, African countries, they're showing up because they see cryptocurrency as a way to even the playing field. They're going, okay, so we're way behind with the current system and how things are running, but with this new stuff, with blockchain tech, this is our chance to catch up. So if you got everybody in Europe, the big strong white people in Europe, arguing over whether their peasant citizens should have access to this stuff, you have the folks in South America like Argentina going like, we want this, everybody needs to get in on this, because that's going to bring them up. Whoever controls the digital world controls the real world here pretty soon, okay? And it's already kind of like that. I think what really scared Christine was when Zuckerberg made his Libra token from Meta. Now, nobody cares about, hang on a second, Buck Libra token. They don't care so much about, some goon in his basement inventing some obscure DeFi token. They're worried about people like Zuckerberg or Elon Musk pushing Doge into the mainstream. Okay, making it so you can buy donuts with your Doge or your Zuck bucks, because that's completely out of the central bank's control. And that's what the IMF is. Their job is to protect banks. And so the IMF is going after cryptocurrency too. Not because crypto is dangerous for people or that it hides illegal activities. I'll go over that in a second. But because it renders our current system obsolete. And you can either fight blockchain tech or you adopt it. And really, that's what they should do. If you are in control of the current banking system and you see this new tech that's way faster and way more secure than your credit card system you've been doing, call those people and buy them out. Absorb that like Google would. And now it's yours. And you're the big, powerful Wells Fargo, and you have blockchain walls all around every transaction you have. That would make you far superior to Chase or whoever else. So what these banks and governments should do, and some of them are, is jump into this crypto world, learn about it, and adopt it. So you have the opposite that are trying to fight it, and then some who are trying to welcome it. And I guarantee you, the people who welcome cryptocurrency are going to be in the lead way far ahead. Christine is like the mailman in the 80s who was like, email? That's not even real. It's not even backed by anything. Why would you want email? That's stupid. Well, we see how that turned out, right? Email, what's the point of mail? It's to send somebody a message, right? So why print the paper? Why buy toner from China to print on it? Why give it to some guy in a truck and have it drive across the world? Why cut down the trees for all that shit? Just send it instantly on a screen. The person got the message and they have total access to it, and it didn't cost you anything. So that this really, it's like a monetary or a financial equivalent to the old mail system versus email, okay? That's the simplest way to put it. In terms of another argument against cryptocurrency is that it hides illegal activities or it funds terrorists or something. And this was brought about back in March, again with the EU, and I think we did it here too, some kind of big thing with Janet Yellen, and we had people from all sides of the aisle jumping in on it. And the figures were astounding. So, like, hang on a second. So it's estimated that $2 trillion per year are laundered. Laundered meaning it's dirty money that was acquired through illegal activities. Okay, that's just what we know about $2 trillion per year. And we also know that the vast majority of money laundering goes undetected because that's how it's supposed to be. You're sneaking money, you're cleaning it out. Okay, but we know about $2 trillion per year. By comparison, cryptocurrency is, let's see here, $2.8 billion per year in possibly nefarious activity, or 0.4% of total transactions. So we're talking, it's not even 2 trillion, it's probably vastly more than that. Let's say 2 trillion versus 2 billion. You know, that's still a lot, and that's in something that's completely unregulated. And to be honest, that $2 billion worth of money laundering is actually worth half as much now because of the way the market's gone. But even all that money that was used to buy Bitcoin or whatever cryptocurrency they laundered with, that's all on a blockchain ledger. You can trace that to somebody. Like, hell, where'd this money come from? Okay? And then it started with illegal activities based in dollars. So the fiat system failed first, and then they took that money and bought Bitcoin with it. But at least now those transactions are on a public ledger, where cash is not. You can just give somebody cash and you buy dope with it, and no one has to know until they have to try to launder it somehow. And most of the time they don't get caught doing that, according to these figures. So if you're comparing evils and dangers between the dollar and cryptocurrency, it's like the atomic bomb saying that a slingshot is too dangerous. So it's not even close, okay? And that's with the complete Wild West, no rules. It's still not even close compared to the dollar's evils. And no one's gone to war over Bitcoin, okay? Or at least not yet. And I don't know how you would go to war over Bitcoin, considering it's completely decentralized. There is no Bitcoin or Ethereum or Cardano warships that show up in the Persian Gulf and start destroying everybody in the name of democracy. There's no reason for any of that because it's completely decentralized. Everyone has equal access to it. So there's no one's going to fight over control of crypto. Unless you set some rules that pushes certain people out, like you and me, and then you can gain control of things and centralize the power, and then you have wars over that type of crypto like we do with the dollars. But that's way in the future, and it looks like that's what this lady's trying to set up for us without even realizing it. So the bottom line is the dollar isn't backed by anything either, other than military might, okay? Crypto, people invest in it similar to how they would a stock market. Although you don't really own a share of the company, it's more liquid than that. You can use the token for really anything on their whatever they can allow for it. You can, I don't know, buy something on their decentralized apps. You can sell it amongst each other. You invest in that company that it's related to so they can continue developing. Really, people act like a stock market with their crypto coins. Only the crypto market doesn't stop. So it's 5 times faster than the traditional stock market. And that's what makes it exciting to new investors. Now, whether you're investing in Tesla or Polkadot, you should do your research first. Go in slow and easy. Dip your toe in. Learn about these terms first. And you don't need the government to come and save you, because they don't save you when you lose money in the stock market, do they? No, they don't. They take money from you if you make money, but they don't fucking help you if you lose money in the stock market. So why are they suddenly so concerned about the safety of investors? They're not concerned about you and me. They're concerned about getting their piece of the action. That's really what it comes down to. They're worried that crypto will take control away from them. And for good reason. Crypto was made as a response to their failures and corruptions. And this is a big slap in her face that the crypto and the people who use it are saying, like, we don't need you anymore, Christine, and your central bank. That's why we exist, because we were tired of you. And she's going to do her best to try and stop it, but in doing so will scare away all the money, and it will just make her lonelier and weaker. Now, I don't know her personally. not her being weaker, but the people she represents, the European Central Bank, will continue to suffer if you keep fighting innovation like this. So that's really what it is, guys. Look, crypto's the way to go. Don't buy just anything. You know what's good. We don't know who's going to stick around, but this is a fledgling industry that's here to stay. And certain people are fighting it, and certain people are adopting it. You want to be on the team that adopts it, because there's no avoiding it.